Residents of Bali living next to Mount Agong are being told to get out of the danger zone as soon as possible. Clouds of smoke and ash continue to pour out of the volcano, reaching as high as 9,000 meters. The main airport on the island is closed for at least the next 10 hours, leaving thousands of travelers still stranded. The highest possible alert has been issued, and the major eruption could come at any time. Now, earlier, I talked to Indonesian photographer and blogger Rio Helmi, and he shed some light on what it's like for residents in Bali.
Well, the initial one that happened 2 months ago was quite chaotic because nobody was prepared for it. Although, in fact, the volcanologists had, indicated that there was, it was happening already some months ago, but nobody actually took the time and took it seriously to prepare for that. So that was quite chaotic, the first one. This time it's a little bit more organized in the sense of it's a little bit less frantic. We have people who are better prepared. Also, we have our NGOs and a couple of other friends have brought in communities from Java who deal with volcano contingencies all the time, and they've helped people orientate themselves to this situation. And it's like their point of view is it's not a big deal. It's just a natural phenomenon. So let's not make it a crisis.
Yeah, absolutely. But, for the tens of thousands of people who've been evacuated already, are they being adequately cared for, sheltered, fed?
It's a mixed bag. There's some that are cared for better than others, and they tend to be people who have actually taken care of themselves or have had people explain to them how to take care of themselves. In some of the bigger camps, it's a little bit more problematic because people aren't in control of their environment so much. So there is quite there's a range, and food can be an issue. I mean, food supplies at the moment go through a bureaucratic process, which is quite. It can be a little bit daunting, I think, for people from that area, from the upper mountain areas there. So, it's not all smooth sailing, but we're getting through it.
Got it. The world has seen the images of the massive amounts of ash being forced out of the volcano into the skies, kilometers, high into the air. Surely living with that ash isn't very pleasant. What is that like?
Well, first of all, that's not the worst. It's going to get worse. Second of all, that ash is very fine. It's like silica. It's very sharp edge, and you can get, you have to wear a mask or you have to wear goggles if you're in the middle of that. And even in Ubud, where I'm living, which is 30 kilometers away, you're still getting a little bit of fine. It's not anywhere near as bad, but it is something that you have to take into consideration.
The eruption is happening now. Everyone's bracing for that violent volcanic eruption to take place. And ahead of that, the economic hit that it's having on the island of Bali, it's affecting subsistence farmers, it's affecting the tourism industry. How hard is Bali going to get hit economically here?
I think it's not going to be easy. I think it's going to be difficult, but I don't think there's any point in pretending like it's not happening. And for a while there, people were trying to say, oh, well, it's really not happening and so forth. The IMF conference is coming up next year. People were trying to say, oh, well, let's, just focus on that. I think it's not a realistic way to go about it. I think what's realistic for the tourism industry is to take this into stride and say, okay, we will work together and we will solve this together. It's as simple as that. But it's not going to be easy.